Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is Mamoona Khalid, your English teacher. I hope you all are in the best of health and taking good care of yourself. Today we are going to study the second poem in your book Moon Wind, Oxford Modern English Class 7. It is on page 25. Please take out your books and read the poem with me. Or I must say, recite the poem with me. There is no wind on the moon at all, yet things get blown about. In utter stillness, your candle shivers out. In utter stillness, a giant marquee moves and flounders past you like a swan at sea. In utter stillness, while you stand in the street, a squall of hens and cabbages knocks you off your feet. In utter stillness, while you stand agog, a tearing, twisting sheet of pond clouds you with a frog. A camp of caravans suddenly squawks and takes off. A Ferris wheel bounds along the skyline. Like a somersaulting giraffe, roots and foundations, nails and screws, nothing can hold fast. Nothing can resist the moon's dead still blast. Now the vocabulary: utter, complete, shivers out, extinguishes after trembling or shivering. Marquee, a large big tent. Flounders, moves with struggle in water, as if moving in water or mud. Squall, a sudden and violent gust of wind. Agog, curious or eager to see or hear something. Clouds, blows heavily. The poem Moon Wind by Ted Hughes is full of poet's fantasy imagery. He provides us with a very strange picture of the wind that he imagines to be present on the moon. He also imagines that if there were Earth-like life on the moon, everything on the moon would be blown by the strong wind blowing there, and the burning candle on the moon would shiver in spite of total silence. A giant tent would be blown away by the moon wind, which looked like a huge swan flying over the sea. The poet also imagines that if anyone would stand in the street, a squall of hens and cabbages would knock you off your feet. The moon wind would lift the pond water as a sheet and hit you with carrying a frog in it. This is very strange indeed. Here we come across very unusual things, such as a squall of hens and cabbages and a somersaulting giraffe. The moon wind would lift off a caravan. A Ferris wheel would appear to be moving in the sky like a somersaulting giraffe. The poet imagines that the moon wind is so strong that it could rip apart anything held by roots, nails, and screws. Here we see how the poet has used his imagination to create completely new images to amuse and startle the readers. He tries to illustrate many things happening there and at last concludes by saying that nothing can resist the moon's dead still blast. The word dead still blast is an oxymoron, beautifully used by the poet to create startling images. A phrase with two contrasting elements is called an oxymoron. For example, deafening silence, accurate estimate, appear invisible, bright darkness, cold frames, dark sunlight, etc. I hope you can find more oxymoron if you search by yourself. I hope you all have enjoyed this excellent poem, which has startling and unusual images. You can enjoy it more beautifully by closing your eyes during listening and imagining happening everything with you there on the moon. All All the required and important solved exercises from the book and workbook have been provided on the school website in the form of notes. Write them in your notebooks and learn them. Soon, some worksheets and tests will be uploaded. Keep checking the school website regularly for updates. Thank you. Allah Hafiz and take good care of yourself.